So,
warmed up, bud.
First things first for Saturday. Larson's not doing much of anything, per usual. Dude, he's
showing Cody how to
showing
Cody how to move a truck with the forklift.
Semi-professional forklift driver. Anyway, today's Saturday, so we are working on S10 things, and so first things first. This is all kind of new. We ended up remounting a rack, doing some front hoop stuff. We're gonna move the fuel tank out front, fire bottle, and yeah, redoing some of the steering, all that stuff. I know what that is. We are putting this in. So, with everything going along, putting a new engine in, finding a way to pick the thing up is first priority. We got to make front engine mounts, piping, plummet, everything, all of that. That's number 2. Number 3, we're working on Josh's lovely animal. He doesn't really know what he's doing either. Anyway, so Josh is obviously racing Pro Street, so we are going to a Turbo 400 mid plate drop box. Wow, that was really hard. So basically right now we're fixing some stuff underneath of it to get the Rossler to clear, and it's pretty much where we're at right now. Hey look, we got fancy cool things. So then we get to cut on that and cut it all apart and make it not look as good. So, but yeah, so we're redoing a couple of the bars underneath. Basically the 25.6 has a underside X for the cage. Well, we put the Turbo 400 in it and it actually kind of hit in the one corner. So we had the lovely joy of cutting that out, redoing that. So that's gonna be fun, working on that today. And we actually have a new project coming today too, but it will not be here for a couple hours. And it is not a truck, it's something a little bit cooler. Hey, lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Yes, I realize that, Bubby.
All right, we've been getting a couple evenings of work in here on the S10, making a little bit of headways. One of the bigger projects we've been working on is here in the front. We cleared out a bunch of room, added some new structure here to the front to make to where we can put our fire bottle and our fuel cell and maybe a few other things up front here, I'm not sure. But in doing that, we had to modify the core structure support for the front clip. So pretty much to clear that out of the middle. So just some minor modifications there. Had to cut that middle bar out and add some extra bracing, but got that done last night. The rack and pinion is mounted. I was working on making the steering linkage for that last night, and we're also working on getting the struts back in. We did find a little bit something, if you look down here in our lower control arm, where this front control arm mounts, our old mounts had been too narrow. And so when this arm would go through its range of motion with this jam nut locked down, the end of the heim would bind on the side of the bracket. So we weren't getting, our lower control arms pretty much were limiting the strut from making its full range of motion. So that's something we addressed, put new brackets on up there. So hopefully that should help things a little bit and give us a little bit more stroke on the strut. To where we don't pick the front tire off of the ground quite as quick. Should keep the chassis settled down a little bit more and keep the steering wheels on the ground a little bit longer. So trying to think what else. Really, we're just starting to work on getting some of our like piping and stuff laid out. The first thing we need to do is get our intake pipe run up here to the front center, because that's kind of the biggest thing we need to work around. Then once we do that, we can work on charge air, getting everything plumbed back up. So starting to make headways, but still have a good bit of things to do. We got to keep plugging away at this thing, because I think we're about 3.5 weeks from what we go testing. So yeah, we'll keep going at it.